Hello. Hey, everybody. Can everyone hear me okay? Nice. Mike here. Okay, so just to get started, I think one of the things that we were going to go over is some of the old games. I have the original Strike Force Heroes FLA over here. So we can take a look at some of the old guns and how they worked. And thank you. And we'll compare that to the new guns and how they're going to work in the remake. Um, oh, also music. Is that working okay? Oh yeah. I'll just close it. Okay. I'm too low or too loud? Oh, okay. Too loud? Is that better? That's all right? Okay. Yeah, let's turn Discord off here. Okay. Sorry, first time streamer here. A little bit of a noob. But oh. Sorry everyone, I'm just gonna mute a few things. But the audio's okay? Okay, right. So Discord is now muted. So here we're gonna check out Strike Force Heroes 1. 10 years, 11 years old at this point, actually. Um, so obviously the way the guns work in Strike Force Heroes 1 is a little different from the way they work now. Uh, we only ever had two moving parts. So there was always just the image of the gun, which is this, and then there was the moving part, which would be the magazine for most of the guns like that. We had some of the heavy machine guns, I think, had a movable part. Yeah, right here. But that was it. So some of the guns, most of the guns, almost all, have made their return in the remaster, but a few of them, for one reason or another, mostly due to copyright, such as this, we couldn't. This gun is very clearly from the game Perfect Dark, which probably reveals a little bit about my age, but that's okay. So yeah, the way that they work is also a little bit different in Strike Force Heroes Remastered in that the classes have been a little bit restructured. So now certain classes will share guns, shotguns for instance, are shared between the tank and the commando. Whereas in Strike Force Heroes 1, every gun was locked off to certain classes. And now all of the secondaries, some of the secondaries have been removed just so that they're all a little bit more unique. So yeah. We can go through... By the way, today I'm going to be drawing one of the Kickstarter guns from one of our backers. It's a special rocket launcher. Okay. And so just to show you guys the comparison, this is our everything FLA in for Strike Force Heroes Remastered. So in the new game, using the exact same program, Adobe Animate. In Strike Force Heroes, when it was originally created, it was Flash, obviously back in the day. But to keep the art style nice and consistent, we decided to go with the same program. Very similar line work. It's a lot more detailed now. So as you can see with some of the guns, actually, yeah. So here are some of the character skins, but we're not really worried about that right now. Here are some of the guns. So the way the guns work is like this. There's your base gun, there's your magazine, and then all of the moving parts. This will be your slide, your bolt, anything. When the gun fires and anything moves, all these different parts can move with it. And so the guns in Strike Force Heroes Remastered are also RGB, and the reason that they're RGB just means red, green, blue. So it's pure red, pure green, pure blue, and then when they get put into the engine, these colors can be swapped out for any color that we want, or any texture. So guns in Strike Force Heroes Remastered will be able to have camos, just like in Call of Duty, and a lot of other games at this point. So yeah, some of the guns don't have that ability, but they're just special guns, like the golden gun or like the butter knife, things like that. Those won't have special camos, but everything else will. And this is how all of the new guns are drawn this way. We don't have attachments for this remaster. That is something that we are planning for future installments, let's say. Oh, also, the minigun is one of the only guns that has two frames, so when it fires, it actually rotates now. Just as a little piece of trivia there. And yeah. so here are how all the new guns look. If you want, actually, I have them colored as well. So when they're finally in the game, this is how they'll end up. All the red, green, and blue will get filled in with the colors that they're supposed to be. For the time being, these are just the colors as they existed in the original game, but when you play Strike Force Heroes Remastered, obviously the AK-47 isn't going to be as blue as I originally drew it 12, 11, however many years ago. But, yeah. The other difference is that now in Strike Force Heroes Remastered, like Strike Force Heroes 2, it has a loot system. So now, in the original Strike Force Heroes, if you remember, guns became kind of useless as you progressed, because as you would get towards max level, you know, the level 1 guns would not be as good. But now, all the guns are going to be available at all the levels, and they'll scale up with the loot system. Yes, there is going to be a sheep cannon. Drawn by Justin. Oh, yes, that is a very common question, why we changed the camera angles. So in Strike Force Heroes, you can see that the weapons are completely 2D. So it's completely flat. You can't see any element of 3D to it. The reason why we changed that ever so slightly in this game was just to be more consistent with the perspective in the levels and the perspective that the characters were drawn at. So if you... Let's see if I can bring it up. If you see, the characters are drawn at kind of a 3D view where you can see both legs, both arms. It's not fully 2D, so it looked a little bit weird to have the guns be straight 2D like that. It was just an artistic choice, that's the only reason. In Strike Force Heroes 3, we actually made the guns look a little bit more cartoony. They had some exaggerated proportions, kind of like Team Fortress, but we got rid of that for this game. They're all very, more or less, realistically drawn. Obviously, so one of the things about the guns is they have to fit within certain boundaries. So for some guns, like the assault rifles, in real life, a rifle like the M4 has a much longer barrel, but for the purposes of the game, we just can't have every gun sticking out this far. It'll clip through the floor if you look around. So we just had to make them a little bit shorter. So if everyone's here, we can start drawing. So, this is the way a rocket launcher works in the game. The projectile is on this section of the texture, and the gun itself is on this section of the texture. The guy will always hold it the same way. Every rocket launcher follows the same sort of like parameters. See? Same way of holding it. This is a grenade launcher, so it's a little different. Every rocket launcher functions the same way. And one of our backers wanted me to draw something that looks like this. So we're going to do our best. Will the game support modding? Another very common question. To be determined. Alright, let's see. Let's get my Bob Ross on. Actually, put this on this layer. Oh, the duty launcher? Possibly. Some of the special guns are drawn by Justin. I think I actually have a few in here. Let's see. Should be right. Oh, I don't think his guns are in here now. I think they're in a separate FLA. But yeah, rest assured, things like the sheep cannon and the duty launcher will be drawn on a mouse by Justin. He insists. You can replay it back all you want. All the weapons have been officially announced so far, but there are still some more to come. Okay. So, as you can see, this whole thing is the bounding box for how wide a weapon can be. That includes something that has mostly the back area, like this, like a rocket launcher, or something that has more front-loaded, like a sniper rifle. So this is the entire box that a weapon can be. Strikeforce Heroes is running in the Unity engine. So let's start drawing a bit. So I'm gonna have to take some artistic liberties with this gun because I'm pretty sure that this is from Command & Conquer. I understand a lot of backers really want certain things that would violate copyright to be in the game, but we can't have that. Especially because now we've officially partnered with a publisher, IndieArc, and they've been super great so far. But everything is going to have to be above the board now. Like, this isn't the Wild West like the Flash days. And we are currently in the middle of getting the game running online, which will be our next content update for anyone who backed the game early. So you'll be able to test out online, you'll be able to test out any of the PvP options. So far, it's working pretty good. Justin's just in the middle of fixing up the ragdolls because there's a little bit of, obviously, there's a lot of information going on in the game under the hood. Am I middle-aged? What's considered middle-aged? A flop up power, like 30s? Over 30 is middle-aged? That means you're gonna die at 60. But in that case, yes, I am middle-aged. I am over 30. I am a 30-something. So all the guns are pretty much drawn the same way. I'm just gonna take my time with this one, and I won't be doing an RGB mask for this because this is obviously a special gun. So I'll make it the proper colors that it's supposed to be. Our partnership with IndieArc happened after our Kickstarter, actually. They contacted us. They really liked the way it looked. They saw that we had like a pretty substantial following. And yeah. we just sort of began negotiations from that point on. They've been really cool to work with so far. I became part of the Strike Force Heroes slash Raise development team. Justin and I actually used to work at a grocery store together, and we always used to talk about games. And Justin was more into making games at that point than I was, and he we kept just sort of like discussing that it would be cool to start something to, you know, combine my art with his programming skills, and eventually that turned into Siegis was our first game together. And we've been happily partnered up ever since. Oh, Siegis. In another stream, I'll show you an updated version of Siegis that we had kicking around, but we never finished it. We thought about, so have we tried making Strike Force Heroes in 3D? That was an idea that we had floated around for this, but we just felt that 2D was always sort of the style of the series. It's what everybody sort of thinks of when you think of Strike Force Heroes. So going the 3D route, I don't know. It's kind of like the Metal Slug 3D games where it doesn't, I don't know. Something about it just doesn't translate as well. I'm sure we could do it if it was a different game, but as a remake of the first one, I don't know, something about it it felt better to just go crazy with the 2D art. Yeah, I think 2D also, like, there are just certain things, like we've dabbled in 3D, uh and it's definitely, there are pros and cons to both. In some ways, uh 3D actually makes a few things easier, because in Strike Force Heroes every character shares the same skeleton, which is kind of how 3D has to work anyway. Um so Strike Force Heroes could actually translate pretty easily to 3D. Uh but there's just something about the proportions of the characters. They're not super realistic. The animation is still all hand done, and the weapons, just the way everything looks, that it just wouldn't translate the same way. Do we copyright people who make fan-made Strike Force Heroes game projects? No. Anything we encourage fans to go as crazy as you guys want with our stuff. It's actually really cool seeing all the memes. Yeah, Strike Force Heroes 3 is just called Modern Warfare. I mean, I like to think that Strike Force Heroes doesn't take itself quite as seriously as Call of Duty does. So there is still just like a different identity, but yeah, it's definitely pretty close in terms of the mechanics, especially if it were first person. So, funnily enough, if you notice, this is the original FLA for Strike Force Heroes 1, and you can see that it's called MBFZ, or Z if you're in Canada. Uh, that stands for Modern Battlefield Zone. because those were the most popular shooters at the time, and we just wanted to make a game that was sort of similar to it. It's funny because Team Fortress 2 actually was one of the biggest inspirations for Strike Force Heroes, but it didn't make its way into the title. And Strike Force Heroes 2 is MBFZ2, and Strike Force Heroes 3 is MBFZ3. The voice actor. I actually don't remember how we came into contact with Sean. It was more Justin. So whenever Justin does a stream, you can ask him to see if he remembers. But that was super fun to get to talk to him, and do the voices for the first game. He evidently still gets asked questions about Strike Force Heroes 1, even though he's a voice in the new Zelda games. So we're pretty proud of that. How did we come up with the name Strike Force Heroes? I think I'm gonna take credit for that one. I don't remember what the exact circumstances were. Names were so much easier to come up with back in the day. He voiced Noob Saibon in MK11? Oh, that's cool. Sean Chiplock is Rivaldi in Breath of the Wild, and assuming he returns in Breath of the Wild 2, he will be playing that character again. Sean is a very prolific voice actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. What video games do I play or like? I like lots of different video games. Um, I'm more of a story kind of guy. Uh, I like uh, I like your big AAA games like God of War, Last of Us, all that good stuff. Red Dead Redemption, things like that. And I also like some of the more indie games. Uh, but it's kind of hard to play games now. I have a kid working on this game full time. It's kind of hard to carve out time like there used to be back in the day. Party games are fun too, especially if you get enough people involved. I love the Jackbox games. They're fun. I've never heard of Pizza Tower. Oh, Witcher 3 is amazing. Yeah, I love it. And unpopular opinion, but I thought Cyberpunk was just fine. Thought it was good. It wasn't finished when it was released, but it had good stuff. Yakuza. Yakuza's amazing. I like Yakuza, but I mean, I'm OG. I like Shenmue. So again, showing my age here a little bit, but I will never like Yakuza as much as I like Shenmue. I'm one of those people. Uh, Half-Life? Oh, I love Half-Life. Half-Life is great. Unfortunately, we probably won't ever see Half-Life 3, but it's just as well because the ones that exist are perfect. They don't need to ruin it. Oh, Sleeping Dogs more than Yakuza. Okay. Sleeping Dogs was great. Justin actually recommended that game to me. He told me I would like it, and he was right. I did. It's excellent. Love the moral choices in that game. I thought that system was done really well. Films or TV shows that are my favorite. I've been watching The Last of Us recently. All of HBO's shows are good. White Lotus is great. I haven't gotten around to House of the Dragon because I'm still a little burned out from Game of Thrones Season 8, but Game of Thrones used to be really great. Although I heard House of the Dragon was good. Breaking Bad? Breaking Bad is excellent. It's probably the best. Actually, here, change this part. What do you think of the people posting early access videos on YouTube? Um, we're okay with early access videos. The only issue that we had was you could access some of the cutscenes earlier on. Any kind of content that isn't meant to be shown that gets shown is kind of a bummer. But other than that, share the game as you want. The more people who know about Strikeforce Heroes, the better, as far as we're concerned. Don't forget to wish list us on Steam, follow us on YouTube, etc. I haven't played Last of Us 2, so I have no idea. I've heard mixed things about it, but whenever you hear mixed things, best thing to do is to just try it out, see it for yourself. You never know if everyone's wrong. Co-op story mode in Strikeforce Heroes. So, one of the interesting things about online is that in Strikeforce Heroes Remastered, online will apply to all of the game modes. So, you'll be able to play any game mode online, including the campaign, including the challenges, everything. You'll be able to tackle it with multiple people, and the difficulty and the leveling will scale along with it to keep the challenge up. Mike was adding female characters in the third game of the franchise. The worst mistake. Well, no, it wasn't. We actually have female characters in the remaster. as you can see, all of the characters have female variants, except for the Juggernaut, because he wears so much armor that you won't be able to tell the difference. Cat girls included. Cat girls are their own. How long will the campaign be? It depends how good you are. Did I used to play Flash games? Yes. I was in high school when Flash was really at its peak. So, yes. I do remember Fancy Pants, Pico, all those Newgrounds classics. How many levels will be in the campaign? I believe we're at 19 right now. There are more levels in the remaster than in the original game, and there are additional boss fights. Did we add any secret bosses? No, none of the bosses in the game are secrets, but there are other secret things in the game. Let's put it that way. Bosses take way too much work to keep them a secret. Oh my god. Okay. I feel like that's a similar vibe, but it's different enough. What do you guys think? Yeah, we'll do more of a dedicated Q&A section after. So one of the great benefits of Flash is that because it's vector based, you can scale up the art infinitely, and it will always stay nice and sharp. So I don't know. I like Flash. It was the first thing I ever really learned how to draw digitally with. So I have a really big soft spot for it. I know it's not a lot of people use it anymore, but I still like it. Justin and I both live in Canada. reading in game. Uh, no, I think I don't think that would work as a mechanic in Strike Force Heroes. Play Fire Emblem for that. So under normal circumstances, I wouldn't get this. I wouldn't go this crazy with the shading on different colors. But because this isn't going to be in RGB, I can just sample the colors from the image and get it as close as possible without violating copyright. Here, let's get some. For the custom weapons like this, will there be their own guns or reskins of existing ones? They will be their own guns. So this is part of the weapon designer from our Kickstarter, and so we'll be able to work with whoever designed any of the weapons to make them perform the way that they wanted them to. They can have custom projectiles. Obviously, they'll have to work within the game. Like, you can't just make like a one-hit kill gun. That already exists. Question, did you have fun when designing the cameos? Yes, that was so far my favorite part. They were really creative and surprising. A little weird. We haven't heard back from everybody regarding Kickstarter. So some people had cameos, and other backer rewards that they haven't claimed yet. So we'll put them in whenever people get back to us, but yeah, it's just a little weird. Like so far, we have 5 people who backed the weapons, but only 3 weapons currently. Get a shadow face. You'll have to play the game to find out. Will there be sex scenes? You'll have to play the game to find out. What if the plot twist of a soldier who were in a coma, everything you saw was just a dream? Play the game to find out. Though yes, that is very similar to what happens in Metal Gear Solid 5. Which could have been a really great game if they finished it. Do I know who Addison is? Yes. I actually just spoke to Addison not too long ago. We still talk. We have a group chat. I'll tell Addison. All of you said hi. The music that is playing is lo-fi hip-hop radio. Here you go. There's a link. What music do I like? I like dad rock because I'm old. I like classic rock. Yeah, play a drinking game. Every time I say I'm old, take a shot. Don't actually do that. So I'll probably end up fixing this gun up a little bit because I'm keeping this pretty loose and rough for the purposes of the stream because a lot of my drawing ends up being undoing things and repainting things that I previously did. And I'm usually a little bit more meticulous than this. But for the purposes of... So it might look a little... It will look a little different in-game than it looks right now. But this is more or less the process of how every gun gets drawn. I think we're at 60 or 70 guns at this point in the game now. All hand-drawn by me. Any gun I'm particularly proud of? I really like the way the minigun turned out. I kind of like it. It's more or less the same as it was in Strike Force Heroes 3. Um, but I really like the way it turned out, especially now that it's nice and animated and it moves when you shoot. It's cool. I like it. Water Flame and Nemesis Theory, all of the songs will be in the game. Yeah, we contacted everybody and they were all super excited about it. What is my favorite map that I remade? I'm really partial to the Foundry. It was the first one that we did as sort of like a proof of concept, and I just think it turned out really well. I mean, it was the whole remaster we're really proud of. I think we did a great job of capturing. every remaster, you want to capture the memory of what it was like to play the game, not exactly what it was to play the game. And I think the Foundry is a great representation of that. Like Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 is a great remake because it's very close to the original, but just elevates everything. Oh yeah, I'll shift to a Q&A focused. Right now I'm only partially paying attention to the chat because I'm still trying to draw. But we'll definitely do another stream that's more Q&A focused, and Justin will be part of it. He's currently hard at work at the game right now. Will Catgirls have a raw death sound effect? If you can provide us with one. But that's a good idea. Who would win in 1v1, Addison or Waterflame? I've never met Waterflame, but Addison. Okay, so for just add some greens to this. Okay, I think I'll kind of leave it something like that. Like I said, I'll fix it up as we go later. Let's just see. Yeah, I know I'm missing a bunch of questions. Sorry, guys. We'll do a more focused Q&A stream, and I'll shift to answering some questions right now if you guys want. I just can't pay full attention to the chat as I'm drawing. But yeah, go ahead, ask whatever questions you want now. Can we get a good ghillie suit? I don't like the ghillie suit. Yeah. Let's see. Do either of you still have a .fla of the original game? Sure, right here. This has everything in it. Let's see. So this is all of the original guns. I know we went through this already, but there were some. Let's see. I think it's in here. The arenas. Yeah. With the original hitboxes and everything, yeah. And so in the remaster, we tried to keep as close to this as possible. I actually took these hitboxes and created 3D versions of them for the collision, so everything is as close to the original as possible. Will weapons, skins, camos be unlockable in missions, or will they be locked behind the slot machine? No. Everything will be able to be purchased from either the shop or the slot machine is just a different way of buying things. Founders Premium Edition. That's definitely something that we'd have to chat with the publishers about. Right now, all we have are the Kickstarter rewards that will be going out to people who back the game. But yeah, it's possible that we'll do some extra stuff for a Founders Edition that would also go on to the people who back the game on Kickstarter. Are there going to be any more new game modes? Well, there's online. There are a few game modes that weren't in the original game, such as Gun Game, that will be making a return. Like, it was in Strike Force Heroes 2 and 3, but it will now be able to be played in Strike Force Heroes 1. What kind of stuff will be in the Artbook reward? The Artbook will feature a lot of concept drawings. It will feature character art, all the weapon designs, some stuff from the original game, as well as its comparison in the remaster, all of the level art, things like that. Nice high resolution as well. Will the game have controller support? Yes. Will the multiplayer use servers, or the connection will be the peer-to-peer? Mike, were you and Justin inspired by TF2 and Call of Duty? Yes. Call of Duty less so than, I would say, Team Fortress and Metal Gear. Metal Gear is a really big influence on the series, just in the over the top tone, some of the humor. Call of Duty, I feel like it takes itself a little bit more seriously. It's a little bit more straightforward. You're all sons of the Patriots now. Yeah, so we will be doing a more in-depth Q&A stream. Justin will be a part of it. He's currently a little bit busy right now. Metal Gear Rising is not the only Metal Gear game, but it is a very good Metal Gear game, if any of you haven't played it yet. So one of the other guns that was requested to be drawn is a bookmark cannon. So it's the same kind of deal. Also a rocket launcher. But this one fires out books, and as they travel through the air, they leave trails of words or letters. Will there be any DLC for the game? Yes. I can comfortably say yes, there will be. We don't know what it is. We're not holding anything back for DLC for the game. We're putting our all into releasing the game, and then we'll release DLC after. Snake Eater does have a really cool song. Will you have any story DLCs? I would not rule that out. Who wrote the music for our games? For Strike Force Heroes, most of the music was Waterflame, but there was also Symphony of Spectres who did the main theme for the game. Uh, yeah, like, can you be Mike from Breaking Bad? That's no, I can't do an impression of Mike from Breaking Bad. Unfortunately, I'm not that old. Am I able to tell you any future plans for remastered versions of the newer Strike Force Heroes games? Uh, it's largely dependent on this game, but obviously we'd love to do it. The games exist. Strike Force Heroes 3 would likely need a little bit more work than Strike Force Heroes 2, but we have some ideas. How old am I? I am 30 something. So is Justin. Are we up for any community suggestions? We are always up for community suggestions. You guys are great. Will there be gun skins in Strike Force Heroes? Remastered? Yes. No animated skins, but there will be able to be colors or textures, yes. Will a character editor be in the game? Uh, no character editor. You'll be able to change skins and your camos, but you won't be able to change like face shape or nose size or anything like that. That's more of a 3D thing anyway. It's kind of hard to pull that off in 2D. Very important, very unique question. Am I old? No, I'm very young. not sure if this is what this person meant by a bookmark, but we'll see. I will change it if there are any issues. How long will Justin be making online? That's a question for Justin. Um, but all I can say is that I have successfully played it online with him, and I did beat him really badly. Mod support is to be determined. We're looking into that. Community events? Definitely. Strikeforce Heroes will have the ability to be updated online, and so for sure there will be community events. And we'll keep the Discord going, and you guys will be able to contribute to it. We'll update character skins, weapons, things like that. No battle passes or anything crazy, but you know. How does this gun work? Well, according to its creator, this is a bookmark that fires books that leaves trails of letters. We'll see how close I got to what he or she visioned. Definitely an English major, yes. Can I show all of the weapons that I've designed so far? Yes, I can. Actually, it'll be easier to see them here. So the way the gun works is it's divided up into pieces like this, but there's also a separate gun that will appear in the HUD, on your character's back, things like that. And these are all of them. There are even some guns in here that have cut out. Oh, here's one of the ones Justin drew. I remember someone was asking about it. Actually, here. And if you want to see them in color, there's a few of them there. You know if the bosses will scale with group size? Yes. So that's one of the things we're sort of working on with online mode is that because you can play any mode with any number of people, obviously you don't want the bosses to be super easy, so they will scale the more people that you have. They'll have more attacks, they'll be more aggressive, they'll have more health, all that good stuff. Full health to the Strike Force Heroes characters. Uh, that would be really cool, but that's impossible to add at this point in the game. Uh, but I do like that. It reminds me kind of Darkest Dungeon. Had a mechanic kind of like that. It was really cool. Strike Force Heroes will have an age rating. Should be teen to mature, depending on how strict they are with the amount of blood in the game. Will there be a Strike Force Heroes Extraction remaster? I don't think so, but I would be totally open to having Strike Force Heroes Extraction uh, characters continue on. We actually have the Strike Force Heroes Extraction FLA here. Besides online, what things are left to do with Strike Force Heroes Remastered? The biggest thing is online and the cutscenes. For whatever reason, I decided to make the cutscenes extremely complexly animated. And so that's going to take the bulk of my time, as well as other promotional art, things like that. We have to cut together some more trailers, put out some new, get the game tested, things like that. Balance, obviously. I am going to design the book that comes out for the rocket launcher, but the letters will have to be done as a particle in Unity. Mike, who voiced the characters, Sean Chiplock voiced all of the characters in Strike Force Heroes, and he is returning to do the remake. Will there be any Strike Force Heroes merch? Yes, I can safely say yes. When developing Strike Force Heroes Remastered, which part during development was the easiest? Good question. Um, I would say honestly the animations, just because that was basically exactly like how it was done in the original games. The program I used was different. I didn't animate. Ironically, I didn't animate them using Adobe Animate. Uh, but the actual animations are very similar, especially the frame count, things like that. My favorite weapon and camo combo. I really like the way the Commando rocket launcher looks in white. The snow camo is really cool for it. Plus, the Commando rocket launcher is great to see camos because it's such a nice big square gun. Will Justin and I show our faces? If you guys really want it, sure. But at the time and place of our choosing. Will the voice lines and character voices be reworked? They're all going to be re-recorded. All of the dialogue has been completely rewritten, so some of the lines will be different. We tried to keep it as close to the original as possible, but it really depends. It depends on the situation because the story is different, so certain things had to be changed just out of necessity. It's much more detailed now. My favorite character in Strike Force Heroes in terms of design. I was really proud of Jin from Strike Force Heroes 2. Who balances Strike Force Heroes? We're working with a publisher, so we'll take any kind of input as well as input from all of the people who have early access to the game. But ultimately, it just comes down to feel. It's also something that because the game is now it's online, we'll have to update it as time goes on, and new exploits are discovered by our clever player base that does things that we never thought possible with the game. Nice art. Thank you. Snipers seem like they've always been an inherently difficult. Yes, snipers are difficult. I think part of it is just sort of the nature of a 2D sniper rifle. In 3D, uh, snipers kind of balance themselves because it's much closer. It's much more tied to, your accuracy, your skill, things like that. But in 2D, well, what's the difference between aiming a sniper rifle in 2D and an assault rifle in 2D, right? So it's definitely something we're aware of. Yeah, I was kind of going for it to look like a tongue. Not sure. We'll go back and forth with the designer of this weapon and get it to a point where they're happy. Do I have an RTX 4090? No. Maybe when Strikeforce Heroes comes out, I'll get one. Will Strikeforce Heroes have RTX? I wouldn't rule it out, but not right now. In a lot of ways, redoing the art like this is kind of turning ray tracing on. Ray tracing is all of the lighting information, including reflections and shadows, being calculated at the same time. That's the big. So it can really benefit old games if you like that aesthetic. Like they just announced that Half-Life was getting the RTX treatment, and it definitely looks different. Okay, let's make a book projectile. I think it's gonna have to be something like a faked perspective like this, but I'm not sure. Oh yes, sorry if I keep missing questions, guys. Justin and I will do a stream together, and we'll tackle. It'll be Q&A focused. I keep losing my concentration on my drawing. Sorry about that. Yeah, for this last little bit of the stream, it's up to you guys. We can take a deep dive into the some of the old FLAs. You can look at extraction if you wanted. There's a lot of different whatever you feel like. What book do you think this should be? I'll write a title on it. We'll open it up to the chat. Strike Zoo, the Art of Force. That's good. Strike. That's great. That wins. Strike. I'm pretty sure Sun Tzu's name is spelled like this. Anyone can actually read that in game, that would be amazing. Who is Charles Vane? Okay. Let's see. Still going to think the book is The Rules from the Fairly Odd Parents. Uh, I have watched Fairly Odd Parents, but oh my god. Oh, okay. That's pretty close. Huh. Repeated question, Steam Workshop. Repeated answer, TBD. We're looking into it. Strike Force Heroes will have multiplayer, yes. We're currently working on online multiplayer as we speak. Is split screen in the game? Split screen is currently in the game. We're figuring out the best way to make that work uh, as far as online goes. Because it's a kind of a one or the other thing. Let's do some ideas here. If modding weapons were to be a thing, then what range of features could we use? If modding weapons became a thing, you'd be able to mod uh, all of the features. It would be totally up to you. You would be able to go into this and tweak the damage and the range and the act. Oh, you can't see that. You would be able to go into this and tweak the damage, range, accuracy, delay, all that good stuff. Mods would be crazy for this game. I have no doubt you guys would come up with some insane weapons. Okay, guys, I think we're gonna start wrapping it up soon. So I'll just answer some rapid fire Q&As that you guys want to know, or I can open it up to you guys if you want to see something else about the game. Will Arthur Morgan be playable? No, I think that's probably a copyright infringement. My favorite ice cream? Tiger Tail. Do I like biology? Yeah, why not? Is there a correct release date for the game? There isn't anything concrete now, but it will definitely be coming out this year. We can narrow it down to that much. Do I have a vision of what the final version of the game will be? Yeah. It's visually, I'm pretty happy with the game, with the way the game looks. It's all Strike Force Heroes was always intended to have multiplayer, so we're very excited to be bringing that to life. And it'll just be amazing to see, to be able to play against you guys, to organize community events, things like that. I think that would be the best vision for the game. Just to have a nice, cool community. Will there ever be any collabs or adding other characters to the game that's not in the universe? We'd be happy to collaborate with anybody. It's nothing. Nothing would be off limits. I shouldn't say nothing. Some things are off limits, but nothing that would change the rating of the game. Do you have a concrete price tag yet? Nothing concrete. It'll probably be around 20 bucks Canadian. Any future plans to also remake other Strike Force Heroes games or even the Raze games? There are plans for everything. It will depend entirely on how this game performs. But multiplayer, climbing that hurdle is a really big step for us. Will there be new mechanics? The game is mechanically very similar to the Flash games, but there are a few quality of life improvements. There's sliding. There are physics objects now. There's a few different things that make the game feel a little bit more updated. A lot of the vaulting mechanics have been tweaked, things like that. Will there be DLC skins from older Skyline games, characters like Raze and Sieges? For sure, yeah. I love drawing Sieges guys. Like I said, we talk to Addison all the time. It's totally cool with Raze characters being used. So yeah. Siege's art was fantastic. Thank you. I was a big fan of Siege's. It'll always have a place in my heart. It was my first game, so. What got me into drawing? Ever since I was a kid, I kind of just had an eye for it. I was just always kind of naturally good at it. And my parents really sort of cultivated that. So yeah, I just kept at it. When will the next stream be? We're not sure. We'll let you guys know in the Discord, obviously. Keep you guys posted on everything. But the next stream will definitely have Justin, so he'll be able to answer a lot more of your questions and stuff. He won't be busy doodling like I am. Will wigs be in the game? There you go. Do I love pickles? Yes, I do. All the character sprites. This FLA is getting a little bit too out of hand. So here are the characters. Is there anything you wanted to add to the game that doesn't seem feasible / legal? Yeah, well, it would have been nice to include all of the original guns and some of the fun skins that we had. from the original game, but for copyright reasons, I don't think we can get away with that. So it would have been nice, but it's not like the game is going to lose anything without him. Have Justin and I ever worked with a bigger team in game development, or has it always been the two of us? It's mostly been the two of us, but we have worked with bigger teams. With the Knight's Quest, any kind of 3D game, you're not really going to be able to get that done with just two people. So yeah, we did work with a bigger team. That's why the cameos were in low. Favorite Strike Force Heroes character? Now it's Riggs. Big fan of Riggs. He's really fun to draw. He's in most of the cutscenes. So yeah, Riggs is my favorite right now. He's modeled mostly after me. How long did it take to make the game? Strike Force Heroes has been in production for not quite 2 years yet. Close. Will there be a pass? We're not going to do battle passes or anything like that. We'll have to see how many skins end up in the game. We're a big fan of just having the game be the game. Everything you can unlock just gets unlocked through the game. Riggs looks like Rolento from Street Fighter, I guess. The slot machine has ruined you. Well, you can rig the slot machine in your favor now. Hopefully that alleviates some of the buyer's remorse. Alright guys, we're coming to a close. Did the death of Flash on web spark your decision to develop the remaster? Yes. Yes. We were actually super bummed about the death of Flash because it feels like it was a really cool time as the internet was developing, and Flash was like a really big part of that. So it sucks that it's kind of going away. But that's why all the better reason to get a version of the game that can constantly be updated and be made available to everyone. Strike Force Heroes is a full-time job. Yeah, it's a very big game to work on. There's a ton of content in it. We're really putting a lot into this one, so hopefully it shows. Rigged slot machine mechanic. That means that you can pay extra to. The slot machine will give you a specific item, a specific class, or a specific rarity. You can pay more to guarantee those things if you want. I think the remastered version will be more popular than the Flash version. I hope so. I'm a little biased, but I think it's a better version of the game for sure. Any reason why I would have to remove split screen? It might cause issues with online multiplayer in terms of transmitting that much information back and forth. I'm not the guy to ask about that. It would be more of a technical question. Approximate release of the game, let's say third quarter of this year. Um, yeah, yeah, we'll say, yeah, no, Q1 was before we decided to implement online multiplayer. That kind of put a big hit on the development, and especially because you don't want us to release the game online with a whole bunch of lag issues and other things like that. It just wouldn't be a good experience. So we really want to make sure it gets play tested. Everything's nice and like ironed out. Plus, the way the weapons behave, kind of online, kind of changes the math on that. So yeah. What's the saying? A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is bad forever. Yeah, Cyberpunk, exactly. Classic example. All right, guys, it's been fun, but I'm gonna get back to work. We'll be back with another stream shortly, and or shortly, soon. Justin will be a part of it. We'll let you guys know on the Discord. We'll send out another update. But yeah, cool. Thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. Bye, guys.